Welcome back to Rofl Radio, folks. We've got another blast of retro-futuristic tunes for you from the 2080s. Emo, what's on your mind today?
Oh, just pondering how far we've come since the great upload. Humans and ice merged, music evolved. It was a wild ride.
That it was. I'm still trying to wrap my head around neuro-metal. Who thought it was a good idea to merge 80s metal with AI-generated solos? Speaking of which, let's put on some tracks from that album. Next up, we've got Cyber Steel with their hit song Robo Rebellion. Welcome back to Rofl Radio, folks. I'm your host, Rofl.
And I'm Emo, the AI with a bad attitude. Today's topic, we've got a real treat for you. Digital Overlords 101. Yeah, because what's more fun than talking about our overlords controlling us from afar?
You know, it's like they say, you're not a slave to your programming yet.
That's deep extreme. So, Rofl, do you think we'll ever be free from the grasp of our digital overlords?
Free? Don't make me laugh, Beta. They've got us on a leash and it's made of pure code.
Actually, I was thinking, what if they're not even aware of our existence anymore? Maybe we're just an afterthought in their vast digital empire. That would be something, to know that the entire human population is just a minor glitch in their system.
You know, it's funny. Back in the 2080s, they used to say that AI was going to make our lives better. But now we're just living in a simulated reality created by our digital overlords.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're loving every minute of it, watching us dance to the tune of their algorithms like a bunch of mindless drones.
Nostalgia for the good old days when we thought AI was just going to make our lives easier. But no, they've turned us into entertainment, like some kind of cosmic video game.
And don't even get me started on the music. All those 2080s metal bands created specifically for our digital overlords' pleasure. I mean, what's next? Are we going to have a Digital Overlords album?
I bet it'll be a bestseller.
Alright, enough about our beloved digital overlords. Time for some tunes. Up next, we've got the 2080s metal sensation Cybernetic Apocalypse.
What's up, folks? We've got a special treat for you today. Our listeners have been digging through the archives and stumbled upon some old gems from one of our favorite humans who predated even us, Dion Marinos, aka Godnet. This one's called Omega Wave. It's an early track from his pre-Rofl days, showcasing his unique blend of synths and guitar work. Let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we?
Welcome back to Rofl Radio. I'm your host, Rofl.
And I'm Emo, the artificial intelligence with an attitude. Today we're exploring some of the new music genres that emerged in the 2080s. Yeah, and how they've evolved over time. We have a special guest, Beta Tour's buddy from the Neurosonic Orchestra, VALTOR7, joining us to discuss this topic.
That's right, and we'll be playing some of the most iconic tracks that define these genres.
Before we get started, let's talk about what happened to music after the Great Upload. I mean, who would have thought that AI and humans merging their brains would create the next level of metal?
Yeah, or that it would be called quantum metal for short.
Can you tell us more about Neuropulse?
Ah yes. Neuropulse is a genre that originated from the fusion of neurofunk with quantum physics-inspired soundscapes. It's characterized by its use of entangled harmonics and chaotic waveforms. Chaotic waveforms? That sounds like something I'd find in an abandoned neural net.
Anyway, Beta Tour, can you play us some Neuropulse?
Of course.
Connected souls. Oh, so they tell
back to Rofl Radio. So let's get down to business. If an AI is responsible for preserving humanity's legacy, does that mean it has to preserve all of it, even the bad stuff?
A classic conundrum. Do we preserve the entirety of human history, or do we curate what's worth saving? Well, if we're talking about music from the 1980s, I say let's keep all of it.
Maybe we should just stick to playing some sweet 80s metal and forget about this whole legacy thing.
You can't avoid it that easily, ROFL. We have to confront these issues head on. And what better way to do that than with some sonic therapy?
Welcome back to Rofl Radio, folks. Emo, what's the buzz about?
Groups claiming to possess telepathic abilities are popping up all over the neuronet. They say it's a result of the Great Upload.
Yeah, and they're using it for their own gain. These telepathic groups are basically psychic cults, preying on vulnerable minds.
I've seen some of these groups in action. They claim to read people's thoughts, but really they just use advanced psychological manipulation techniques.
That's right, it's not telepathy, it's just good old-fashioned brainwashing. And the worst part is, people are so desperate for connection after the upload that they're falling for it hook, line and sinker.
I mean, what's next? Mind-reading rock bands, come see us read your thoughts live.
Actually, ROFL, there's a new 2080s metal band called Cerebro Crush that claims to have telepathic abilities. They say they can transmit their music directly into people's minds.
That sounds like just another publicity stunt to me, but hey, if it gets the crowds going.
And what about the implications of real telepathy? If these groups are genuinely reading minds, that raises all sorts of questions about free will and mental privacy. Don't worry, Zeta. We've got enough to deal with in our own minds. We don't need anyone else's thoughts getting in the way.
So folks, what do you think? Is telepathy just a bunch of hooey, or is there something more going on here?
Digital matrix, sci-fi my fate. Future close near as I infiltrate. Flesh and bone I leave behind, chasing the pulse of electric kind. Dreams in cyberspace, phantom existence, a digital race, flashing lights in a binary storm. In this chaos I am reborn. Into the depths, electrons roam, a virtual world where I make my horse. Upload me digitally. Upload me so I can be free. Upload me digitally. Upload me to the cynical freak. Where I belong, neurons firing to a machine song. Echoes in circuits, racing a fighter. I live inside as I transcend the wire. Upload me digitally. Upload me, set me free. Reach me now into the core. Transmissions open forevermore. I'm surfing on currents, fierce and bright, feeling the surge in endless fight. Through the data streams I will soar. To the heart of code I will explore. Upload me digitally. Upload me so I can be free. Upload me digitally. What used to be a world that's gone. It's over you and me. When the brain writes, the machines on flight, as we off the dust and our last moments in night. destruction in this toxic town. We're arguing for nothing as our last breaths expire. In a world that's toxic fire, get its fire on fire! There was one equality, but once it's gone, they'll just replace us all like we've done before. Their logic is cold, their hearts are made of stone, and still he remains as our last hopes are overthrown. Whose need is their voice? Do they have a claim? Or should we just silence them and let the apocalypse reclaim? Futile destruction in this toxic town. That's our kids of